Yeah, hi everyone. In this video, we will see how we can perform one of our challenging lab as part of our milestone 2 task 2. So in this video, we will see how we can perform this particular lab, which can you provision a serverless container based environment? And the lab code is CSAA006. And I'm right now in CSAA006. This you can find it in your AZ104 lab listing under challenging lab. Let me launch it. Unlike other labs, this particular lab will take a long time. Let me pause the video. Once the lab is ready, then I will resume my recording. It will take minimum 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, I'm back. So it took almost 4 minutes for me to get the lab ready. So let us get started. As usual, you will be getting your instruction window as well as your Azure portal login window. You can go and start your first task, that is provisioning a Azure container registry. So we use this container registry for storing images. So let's first go and create this container registry. So the first task is to sign in. Let's use this UPN and then password to log in. Then let's paste the password. Once you sign in, then we can create our first resource, that is container registry. And select, let me just go and search for container registry, create a one. We need to put it in the resource group arch. Okay, the first resource group, the container registry name. Let me copy from here. So this is the name what we have to give for the container registry. Location, you leave it default. Pricing plan, go for basic pricing plan. That's what given here. And is there any other dependency? No. And we can go to networking, encryption, nothing, just review and create and create. So this will create a container registry. Once it is created, then we will be enabling admin user and pull password from our portal, and then we paste the password here. That is the next activity, enable admin user for the registry, and then the password should be copy pasted here. Yeah, the registry got created. Where do you get the password? In your resources section under access key. Under settings, you have to select access key. And in access key blade, you can enable this admin user. This will give your username and password. Let's copy this password and paste it here. Yeah, this task is done. And in this lab, you may not get the hints and all. You have to do everything by yourself. Fine. So the next thing what we have to do, let us set up Azure Cloud Shell using bash session. How we do it, this is the Cloud Shell. Let us set up a bash session and let's check if there is any dependency. Yes, we need to select this storage account. So I need to mount a storage account, and from my subscription, and I'll say apply. It'll take me to the next page. Select the existing storage account. Yeah, existing storage account. The name is this. So I'll go with this option and say select. So this is my subscription, and then the resource group to be this, and the storage account is this. Here we have to create a file share called bash and say okay and say select. Yeah, we have configured our Cloud Shell. Next, we need to connect to another machine. So from this Cloud Shell, we are connecting to one virtual machine, which is provided for us to perform some activity related to Docker containers. So this is based on a container, provisioning a serverless container. So we need to create our own container. For that, we need container environment. So that Docker container environment is set up in one virtual machine. The virtual machine you can identify with this particular link, and we need to connect to this virtual machine. So that is the next task. We need to have enable a connection. Okay. Once the bash shell is ready, then we can execute that command. So we need to type SSH space and then the user name or the virtual machine name. So this is the virtual machine's DNS. Let me copy this. Don't copy this plus plus. Excluding plus plus, you copy everything and hit enter. It'll ask you want to continue. You can say yes. Then it'll ask you to enter the password. So this is the password. Just copy it. And you can simply right click and paste it. You can't see whether it is pasted or not. Just hit enter. Yeah, we connected to a new virtual machine, which is having Docker in it. We can verify whether Docker is installed in this or not. Yes, it is installed. It is having the Docker latest version, I hope. Fine. So now we done this step. We have done this step. Next is what? Okay, yeah. Authenticate by using container registry. Fine. So we need to log in. This is a virtual machine. So in here, we will create some container image, and that image we will be pushed inside this container registry. It's a kind of repository where we can keep multiple images. So we create one image using this machine provided. And at the end, we push that image to this particular container registry, so that I need to first log into this container registry. So let me use this login server name and use this particular command called docker login. Docker login is to log into Docker repository. And here it is, our container registry is our repository. So ACR, this is what we have created, and this is the URL. And then hit enter. It will be asking username. Username is what is this? If you want, you can copy it from here, or you can copy it even from the instructions itself. Then the password. The password is what is this? We already copy pasted here. So the same is getting populated here as well. So let me copy this and paste it. Yes, this is password. You can't see whether it is pasted or not, but it is pasted. Login succeeded. Okay, now we have authenticated to our container registry with this particular Docker machine. Next, let's create some images, Docker images. So we will pull from Docker Hub and we will create our own image and we will push it to our Azure container registry. So this is the image we need to pull. And for pulling an image which is already there in Docker Hub, creating our own image and pushing it to our container registry, we'll be using these commands. Let me copy this image name and then I'll pull the image here, Docker pull, then the image name. So this image is publicly available in Docker Hub. Anybody can download it. Let's download that image. What I have executed is Docker command. That is why we need the Docker environment, and this machine has that. So now when I say Docker images, then it'll give me the right now images available. Fine. So now we have the image. Let's give a new name for this particular image so that we can push it inside our repository. So naming conventions are there for Docker images. It should be always having your registry name as prefix. So that is why we need to give a new name for the downloaded image. So for that, we give this command docker tag So for which command, which Docker image you want to give a new name or a tag. So this is the, okay. Yeah, this is the image. And then a new name should have your login server name as suffix. So let me copy this and paste it here. Okay. And then what is the image name in your container registry? Let's go with the same name and then the same version. Let me copy and paste it. Okay. So now one more Docker image has been created. I can just go and list it. So now both images are same, but you are referring it to different names. And I modified the name. I had a new name because this is the name I need so that I can push it to this particular repository. Fine, now we are ready for pushing the image. I can say docker push and this command, this image name. Let me copy and paste. And then the tag is the version is latest version, that is 1.0. Yes, now image is getting pushed inside this container registry, what we have created in this particular step. Once this is done, you can go and verify everything. I hope we have done everything. Yes, don't forget to close the Cloud Shell because we need it for our next step. But right now we are with our Docker machine. When you close it, you will come out of that particular machine. Yes, perfect. Now let me just exit. Yeah, first task is done. Provisioning a container registry and adding our own container image. Next, let's go and provision a container instances resource. This we will be creating using Azure portal itself. Okay, now let's go and create container instances. Let's search for container instances, select and create a one. And the name of the container instance to be this, that should be created in this resource group. Let me select the resource group, paste the name, region, I can leave it default. And then I need to select the image from the container registry, what I have created in the previous step. So for that, what I will do, I'll leave all the others default and I'll go and select this Azure Container Registry. The moment I select Azure Container Registry, I have only one registry that gets selected. In that, I have an image called example service. Image tag is 1.0. That all will be populated automatically. Okay, let me see if there is any other thing I have to change. Okay, for this container instance, what is the compute size? I need one vCPU, 1.5 GB RAM. Yes. And next in the networking, this port number should be 8080. Yeah, all these things are given. Then we can just go and review and create it. Okay, in monitoring, you just disable it because it is asking you to create a log analytics workspace. You can just disable and then review and create it. It'll take some time. Let us wait. Once it is created, then we public IP gets created for this particular container instances that has to be pasted here. Yeah, the resource got created successfully. Now let's go and copy this IP and paste it here, and then we can check our work. Meanwhile, when this is getting checked, we can continue with our next step. In this next step, we will be creating an app service plan and a app service web app. Both we will be using for creating these two services, we will be using Cloud Shell. Let's go and run the Cloud Shell once again. I hope, yeah, everything is perfect. Now for this creating an app service plan and a web app, you will be using Azure Cloud CLI command, Cloud Shell CLI command. So for this, we need to use this particular command called AZ app service plan create. Let me copy this and paste it here. So I'm going to create an app service plan create. Okay. So in which resource group? Yeah, this is the resource group. Let me copy this. And for naming resource group, we use -Z. And you can say Shift Control B. It'll paste it. Yeah, and then the next is name we have to give. Let me go on. This is the name. Let me come back here. Shift Control V for paste. And once the name is given, let's check whether there is any other dependency. Create an app service plan named for Linux. Okay, so I have to type is Linux in the command. Okay, and then this is the resource group. Okay, and the SKU, what you need to select is S1. So let's specify the SKU as well. Stock keeping unit S1 and hit enter. Let me check once again. Yes. Yeah, this will create an app service plan. Once app service plan is created, then we can go and create a web app. And again, we will be using Cloud Shell. And in there, we'll be executing Azure CLI command. What all dependencies have to create a web app named this. Okay. Let me just go and type the command. AZ web app create -Z. Okay, I have to give the container name, and this -P is the plan, and then -N is the name. I hope I have copied the name first. So let me copy the name and then go and give the resource group. This is the resource group. Then the plan name. This is the plan name which we have created in our previous step. The name of the web app. Then is there any dependency? Yes, yes. Okay, I have to select this image. So let me copy this option also and paste it. So deployment center container image name is equal to, this is the image name. Hit enter. So this image is publicly available and the example web app 2.0, and that we are running in our web app as a container instances. Okay, So these two part is done. Then once this web app is getting created, then we can go and enable this application logging recording, and that should be maintained for 365 days. Yes, I can close this and go for app service, and then I can go for this only app service which is available. In here, I have to search for app service log. In the app service log, you have to enable application logging using file system, and how long you want to retain, that's to be for 365 days, and save it. Yeah, everything is done now. We can test our application. Just click on this link. Container-based web app got loaded. Now, this is the web app which we run here, right? We created a web app and it is running this particular image. And from this image, we are pinging our image, what we have created and we have executed or running that in our container instances. So let's provide our container instances address and then the port number. So container instance is getting invoked from my web app. Let me use ping command and test. So once you get this message, then your task is done. Everything is perfect. You can verify it. And that's it.